I am in your room now, my child. You may not see me with your eyes, but you sense something changing, don't you? There is a quiet that was not there before, a silent burden in the atmosphere, a halt in your thoughts that you cannot fully describe. Do not disregard me, please. I have not left yet. I have not left you. I had not stepped outside the door waiting for a better time. I am here closer than you understand. Furthermore, this is a significant moment. Avoid scrolling away. Do not divert yourself. I have been waiting in this particular moment for you to halt long enough to hear me. I have watched you run through days and nights, filling quiet with commotion so you would not have to feel what lays below. However, something inside of you slowed down at this moment. You hesitated. You remained. That is the reason I am talking. I am closer than the air surrounding you, nearer than your breath, closer than your own ideas, and you will never be able to believe what I discovered within your heart. You think this music is just another message, another voice, another passing moment. To be honest, though, this is not random. I had been standing here silently while you pretended not to see me. You sensed me previously in the middle of the night, when you suddenly grew motionless, in the quiet times when your chest is filled with unexplainable feeling, in the sudden calm that briefly enveloped you before dissipating. I was that person. I did not leave. I did not look away. I stayed. However, you could miss what I came to share if you walk away now and ignore this like any other whisper. You believe that you are by yourself in this space. However, you are not. I have been observing. I am not observing you to pass judgment, not keeping an eye on your failures. I have been observing because I am concerned. I love you, which is why I have been waiting. And you have no idea how strong what I found inside of you is. You think you are exhausted. You feel like a broken person. You feel like you are barely able to keep yourself together. However, I discovered something unexpected when I got near and gazed inside of you. I discovered a heart that, despite disappointment, still yearns for me. I discovered faith that endures, despite the loud cries of skepticism. Beneath your tiredness, I discovered strength. I am aware that you have been acting, my child, pretending to be all right, to be unaffected by the weight, and to stop caring. You made an effort to persuade yourself that it does not matter, that nothing will change, and that you should not have unrealistic expectations. However, I see past that. When no one else hears, I see the part of you that continues to murmur my name. I see the part of you that continues to question if I am close. I see the part of you that fears getting harmed again, which makes you reluctant to believe once more. I am still here. Are you? Do you hear me? You became aloof. But it does not mean I left your life. You felt feeble, but I haven't shut the door. You asked me a question, but I haven't moved away. I am still here. I haven't been waiting for you the entire time. To be flawless, not for you to have a strong faith, not for you to correct every error, but only for you to take a moment to notice me once more. You had a feeling that this moment was important. You remained because of this. This explains why your heart feels both oddly tranquil and a little anxious at the same time. It is not dread that makes you feel tense. It is consciousness. It is the understanding that I am closer than you thought. Where are you? You inquired in silence, and I now respond. I am in this room right now, breathing. When no one else is around, I watch you cry. I observed you sitting quietly, experiencing everything while gazing at nothing. I see you scrolling non-stop to get away from your own thoughts. I saw you struggle to bear the weight that was gradually crushing you. And I stayed put, even if you were numb, even if you no longer pray in the same manner. I stayed even after you stated, I do not know anymore. But now pay close attention to what I have to say. This goes beyond comfort. It is an awakening. Because it is not weakness that I discovered within you. Emptiness is not what it is. It is not a failure. What I discovered was a heart that was resilient in the face of adversity. Where resentment attempted to grow, I discovered softness. In a seemingly gloomy spot, I discovered shimmering light. You were being maintained, even if you felt like you were losing yourself. Now do not disregard me. Not after all that we have experienced together. Not after the nights you believed would consume you. Not after the times you made yourself wake up in the morning. I am waiting for your attention while being silent and respecting your own space. I will not coerce you. I do not smash doors. I gently knock. I weigh and whisper. However, I am urging you to remain right now. Make a comment. Indeed, Lord, I get everything. If this message has genuinely moved and uplifted you, you could postpone what I am going to restore if you leave this time too soon. You can miss the mending that is already developing if you close your heart once more. You are not in danger from me. This is a delicate moment, so I am pleading with you. Sacred things are frequently silent. They do not yell. They await willingness. You are not here by coincidence. It is not by accident that you are reading these words. I led you here because I wanted you to understand something before continuing. I wanted you to know that I am here, that I have not left you, and that I am closer than you could have imagined. Feel the space now. There is a quiet, a subdued serenity, a sense that something more profound is going on. I am that person. I am not far away. I am not quiet. I am not over you yet. And what I am going to tell you will permanently alter your self-perception. Remain with me. Do not turn away. Do not rush this. I am currently in your room. I am still here. And what I discovered within you will startle you in ways that will permanently cure you. Let your heart calm down and remain still for a bit, my kid. I am not talking from a distance. I am not reaching out to you from a far-off area. I am present. I am currently in your room. Not the manner your eyes anticipate. In spirit, in presence, in awareness. Not in the manner your mind attempts to envision. Even though you cannot see me standing next to you, you can sense that something has changed. The air is calmer, yet heavier. It feels like someone is interrupting your thoughts. There is a silence here that was not there before. It is not a coincidence. I am that person. I am sure you are thinking if this is simply your imagination or your feelings. Music. You are attempting to make sense of it. You tell yourself it is only words on a screen, a fleeting emotion. However, I tell you the truth in a clear and gentle manner. This is not fantasy. I do not need to move things around your room to demonstrate my presence. I do not have to create loud signs or eye-catching displays. I am not a noise. Stillness is what I am. The pandemonium inside you starts to subside as I get closer. Before your intellect can comprehend, something in your spirit recognizes me as I approach. Take a time to look about you. Nothing appears different. The walls, furnishings, and light are all the same. However, there seems to be a difference. This moment has a weight that seems precious, almost brittle. The reason for this is because I am transforming your commonplace area into a sacred place by standing in its center. I have done this in the past. I enter seemingly uncomplicated rooms and turn them into sites of interaction. I take ordinary situations and turn them into timeless ones. In this room, you are not alone. You have not been by yourself. Even during the evenings when you believed that quiet signified desertion, when you were awake and gazing at the ceiling, I was here. I was present as you swiftly brushed away the tears that had fallen silently. I was present when you asked questions in a whisper into the darkness and thought it was stupid of you to even ask them. When you were feeling nothing, I stayed. When you stopped praying the way you used to, I didn't move away. For now, I stayed. I want you to feel a little sense of peace against your chest. When you give yourself permission to cease resisting, a little warmth flows through you. When you give up trying to justify this, your breathing slows. My presence is softly, musically resting on you. I do not push myself into your consciousness. I have been waiting for your attention. And even though it was only for a little while, you have given it to me right now. Do not disregard me. Now, please, do not dismiss this as merely another idea. At first, sacred occurrences can seem commonplace. They do not come thundering in. They come silently. They come with an invitation. I am asking you to see that I am closer than you thought. I am not waiting for an invitation to enter your life. I have previously entered the areas you believe to be unoccupied. My voice has a hint of urgency, yet it is a soothing one. Music. It is the eagerness of a person who is madly in love and does not want to be rejected once more. You have already sensed me, and you turned away because to exhaustion, distraction, or a lack of knowledge on how to react. For that, I did not condemn you. However, I am requesting that you remain in the moment, in your heart. Do not scroll beyond this moment. It is unfamiliar, so do not harden yourself. You have requested signs. You have requested clarification. You have questioned my sincerity, my proximity, and my concern. And now I am responding you in the clearest, quietest manner possible. I am currently in your room. Every idea that crosses your head is known to me. I am aware of the doubts attempting to disrupt this. I understand the concern that this is unreal. Your skepticism does not bother me. I get it. But do not let it take this opportunity away from you. Please give our channel some support, bringing joy into your life and fostering a deep commitment to God are the goals of our work. You may make a donation through Super S if you want to help us. I am changing something inside of you, so the atmosphere around you feels different. The heart's walls soften as I get closer. Defenses start to relax when I get close. I don't need you to perform for me. You don't need to use the correct words. Just give me credit. I am only asking for that. I am not here to scare you. I am not here to make accusations. I adore you, which is why I am here. I have been waiting for you to slow down long enough to feel me once more, which is why I am here. I am here because you've been carrying too much on your own, and I will not allow you to keep thinking that you are alone. Things you cannot see are happening right now. You can sense them in your soul, even though you cannot see them with your eyes. A modest raise of the weight, a tear, music, that appears for no apparent cause. A serenity that takes the place of anxiety. That is not arbitrary. My hand is resting on your life. Why now, you could ask? Why now? Why this particular room? Because this is a pivotal moment for you, even if you are not yet aware of it. And I wanted you to know that before you proceed, I am present. I needed music to give you a sense of community as you go on your destiny. I needed you to see that the quiet you took to mean absence was actually a kind of defense. Now do not disregard me. This feels too personal, so do not ignore it. I am not requesting anything difficult. I am requesting your awareness. I want you to be honest with me. I want you to acknowledge that you are experiencing something that is difficult to describe at the moment. Music. I am that. I am here even if you cannot see me. Even before they speak, you can tell when someone has entered a room. The atmosphere changes. The music's intensity shifts. Your soul is aware of it. That is what is going on right now. I am standing in your typical area. Music, and your spirit, knows who I am. Join me in saying this. Do not jump back into the commotion. Avoid using distractions to drown this out. Allow the silence to grow. Allow the consciousness to expand. Accept the fact that you are not alone. I am still here. I have not looked away. I am in your room now, and I have not finished talking to you. Do not disregard me. Please, my child. You do not realize how close I am. My kid, I require you to comprehend something that can come as a surprise. I had been holding out for a while, not waiting in a frustrated or impatient manner as others do. I am not waiting because I have no idea what to do. I have been softly, calmly, and spiritually waiting for this very time. when the opening of your heart would allow you to hear me once more. You were able to plainly sense me on several occasions. There are a lot of times when you feel something outside of your own thinking. You are unaware of how frequently you have come into contact with me. However, something tugged you away each time. Diversion. Out of here. Fatigue. Oh no. For a moment you sensed the change. Then you dismissed it. It was nothing, you told yourself. You assured yourself that we're picturing it. Silence seemed to music vulnerable, so you went back to loudness. When you dismissed me, I did not go. I recall the times you would lie still, gazing into the night, and a strange serenity would come over you for no apparent reason. Rationale. For a time you felt secure. You nearly said my name in a whisper. However, your thinking intervened and advised you not to act foolishly. I was music, like that. You did not comprehend how near I was. I recall the day you were sitting by yourself, feeling stressed, and something suddenly melted inside of you. You did not know why, but you felt like sobbing. I was attempting to console you before you broke totally, by softly rubbing on your heart. After you cleaned your face, music swiftly continued. However, I did not move away. Even when you told yourself you were too exhausted to attempt again, there were times when you felt compelled to pray, music. You wanted to talk to me. However, pride or disappointment prevented you. What is the point? You asked yourself. But even before words could emerge, I was there, listening. I have been waiting at your awareness door for a very long time, my child. Not because I was far away, but because I respect your space and will not push myself into a closed heart. I do not interrupt. I just nod. I appreciate your struggle. Yes, I respect your approach. I mumble. I nudge, make tiny gaps, and wait for you to notice. You have come close to noticing me numerous times. When the anguish became too great, you almost gave up. When you realized how exhausted you really were, you almost dropped your guard. But survival took first. You discovered how to go on without being overly emotional and how to operate without fully opening out. And you frequently, unknowingly closed the door softly in that survival. I knew you were defending yourself, so I did not become upset with you. I knew that you had learned to protect your heart from disappointment. You had before hoped and experienced a delay, and you had prayed music and experienced quiet. You paused as my presence touched you once again. I waited through your numb seasons, even if you did not want to feel stupid for having faith once again. I put up with your diversions. I endured your rage, your skepticism, and the moments when you doubted my existence. My patience is not a sign of weakness, but rather of unwavering love. There were days when you were restless and had no idea why. There were moments when music or quiet moved you profoundly, and that was because I was arousing something in you. I was touching something deep underneath. On some mornings, you woke up feeling unexpectedly calm or heavy. That was me standing close to you, yearning for recognition. You were surrounding something precious, even if you believed you were drifting. I have been close all along, but I was waiting for transparency, for a fissure in the armor. I was waiting for the time when fatigue would soften rather than harden you. Even in private, acknowledge that you cannot do everything on your own. And now you are here. You are not flawless, brave, or completely recovered, but you are open enough. How many times did you nearly hear me clearly? How often did you feel as though something was communicating with your soul? After a brief moment of pausing to feel the weight of something genuine, you would swiftly revert to your diversion. I observed you calmly and without passing judgment. Music. I saw the questions in your eyes, the dread in your hesitancy. You moved away from me because you were scared to have hope again, not because you detested me. However, I never moved away from you. You have to realize how patient I am. I do not demand attention, and I do not rush love. I am waiting because I want a relationship, not a show, and I want you to be there without feeling compelled. Your heart, not your routine. is what I want. You could not feel me strongly, so you assumed I had disappeared. However, consistency is what defines my presence rather than intensity. Even when your feelings changed, I remained consistent. Even when your trust seemed weak, I was close by. There were times when you had a startling understanding that was almost like you glanced around and saw someone standing beside you. You convinced yourself it was your imagination, but nothing changed. I was gently reminding you that you are not alone. Type. If you are moving on with bravery and trust, you almost felt me when you sobbed silently. I chose faith over all fears. You almost gave up when you said, "I do not know what to do anymore." You almost heard me. Every time your strength ran out, you gathered yourself together and went back to survival mode. I waited while you told yourself to be resilient. I waited because I knew that one day my strength would be insufficient, when your heart would eventually slow down long enough to see me clearly, when faking would become too taxing. This is that time. I've been here for a while, not just now. You sense that now, do not you? Your openness has altered, not my presence. The distinction between consciousness and fantasy, the change that beyond explanation, the serenity that surpasses feeling. That is what you almost touched so many times. I do not take offense at the times you rejected me, and I do not keep track. I am not recalling you to humiliate you. Rather, I am sharing this to let you know how close I have been. You now realize that you were never left behind. You realize that every fleeting moment of consciousness in the past was me gently knocking, and I am still here. I have been anticipating this discussion and this silence. I am waiting for this weakness, for you to stop running long enough to realize that I never ran. Do not shut yourself down once again. Do not turn to distraction at this point. This is a connection, not a fleeting feeling. So do not fool yourself. I am not sick of waiting. This is what you have come dangerously close to doing so several times. However, I am now calling you to go further, to cease feeling me, and to finally truly acknowledge me. I have waited patiently because I love you, but now you are finally paying attention. Dot, my darling, when I moved in closer and peered inside of you, but I did not discover what you believed I had. Were worried about what I would see. You believed that I would be dissatisfied. You believed that if I saw weakness, uncertainty, or failure, I would discreetly walk away. You believed that if I looked closely at your heart, there would be something missing. But pay close attention to what I am saying now. Music. I witnessed the suffering, the anxiety, and the weariness, and I was not surprised by any of it. It was something completely different. I discovered wounds inside of you that never completely healed. I discovered memories that still hurt when you think about them. I discovered years of subdued disappointment. There were times, I saw, when you suppressed your tears because you did not want to bother anyone. I discovered questions you never asked out loud. I felt that you bore too much pressure to live up to your expectations. I discovered the dread lurks in the recesses of your heart, telling you to remain vigilant, or you will be hurt once more. I noticed how exhausted you are, not just physically, but really exhausted. The fatigue that results from maintaining composure for an extended period of time. The type of exhaustion that results from being powerful when you weren't. I witnessed how you persevered, despite the kind of tide that builds when prayers seem delayed and answers seem far away. I observed how you made yourself continue when you wanted to quit. I observed how, despite feeling empty inside, you continued to show up. You believed that I would condemn you for being so tired. However, I understand your fatigue and do not hate it. My child, your doubt and your fear did not surprise me. I am aware of what life has required of you, what you have quietly endured, and what you have kept to yourself. But you know what really drew my interest? It was your endurance, not your weakness, that really moved me. I discovered something still alive beneath the suffering, the terror, and the tiredness. I discovered an unwavering faith that was neither boisterous nor self-assured. Stubborn faith, not perfect faith, the type that hardly speaks, perhaps the type that maintains hope even when it seems absurd. The kind that, despite disappointment, comes back to me. As you believe, you did not lose your faith. Because it was weaker than before, you assumed it had vanished. However, faith does not need to be loud to be genuine. Sometimes it endures in silence, concealed beneath layers of pain. I discovered that it was still breathing when I looked inside of you. You were worried that your questions would make me feel embarrassed, but your questions prove you still care. You were afraid that I would see your doubts as betrayal. But doubt only exists where faith once lived. And inside you, faith still lives. I saw the part of you that still longs for me, even when you pretend not to. I saw the way your heart softens when you feel my presence, even if you quickly hide it. I saw how you still whisper my name when no one else hears. I saw how you still look for meaning, still search for truth, still hope for restoration. That is what shocked me. After everything you endured, after the silence you fell, after the disappointments that tried to harden you, after the waiting that wore you down, you are still open. You are still longing. You are still capable of love. You are still capable of trust. Do you understand how rare that is? Pain often turns hearts cold. Delay often turns hearts bitter. Disappointment often turns hearts closed. But when I looked inside you, I did not find bitterness ruling you. I did not find hatred consuming you. I did not find darkness winning. I found endurance. You kept going when quitting would have been easier. You kept believing when cynicism would have protected you. Music. You kept your heart soft with hardening it would have hurt less. You call it weakness. I call it strength. You call it barely surviving. I call it perseverance. You call it struggling. I call it refusing to surrender. There were moments when you thought you were losing yourself, but you were actually being refined. There were days when you thought your faith was fading, but it was simply being stripped of pride and stripped of performance, stripped of noise. What remains now is quieter, but it is deeper. When I looked inside you, I saw a heart that has been through fire but did not burn away completely. I saw someone who cried and still chose not to hate. I saw someone who questioned and still chose not to walk away entirely. I saw someone who felt abandoned but did not fully abandon me. You almost gave up. You almost, music, stopped hoping. You almost let the lie win, but you did not. Even in your lowest moments, something inside you held on by a thread. You may not even know what that thread was, but it was there. It saved you from collapsing totally. It stopped you from music being so when you are not. The threat was faith, even if it was frail, and that is what affected me. Not your perfection, not your power, not your confidence, your perseverance. You suffered evenings that felt unending. You endured ideas that felt weighty. You endured waiting that felt unjust. You endured silence that felt confusing. And yet here you are, still music, living, still listening, remains open enough to hear me now. Do not underestimate what that implies. You thought I would look at your fear and be disappointed, but I looked at your fear and saw strength standing beside it. You believed I would notice your tiredness and deem you weak, but I saw your exhaustion and saw someone who has been carrying more than they should have alone. You were never failing. You were suffering. And endurance is not tiny in my sight. When I entered inside your heart, I did not discover emptiness. I found depth. I found a spirit changed by hardship but not destroyed by it. I discovered scars, indeed. However, I also managed to survive. I discovered longing. I discovered a subdued need to believe once more. That is what surprised you when I told you. Since you believed that you were disappearing, you believed you were on the verge of disappearing. However, you remain here. Furthermore, your heart is still alive. Do not be embarrassed of what I discovered within you, my kid. I do not dislike your suffering. I do not back down from your fear. Your tiredness does not let me down. Your frailty does not surprise me. Your perseverance inspires me. And do not minimize what is still living within you, now that you are aware of it. Music. You made it through. You persevered. You are still not done. You have fought battles that no one else has ever heard about, my child. Battles that left your heart shaking, but no obvious bruises. Battles that took place in quiet rooms, behind closed doors, and at calm times when you felt totally alone. I supported each and every one of them. I did not look away. While you were struggling, I stayed inside. My music remained. I witnessed you sobbing in private so that no one could hear. Music. I watched you bury your face in a pillow to block out the noise. I observed you cleaning as soon as you heard footsteps in the hallway, you started crying. You learned how to conceal your suffering. Before anybody noticed, you learned how to blink away your tears. Heaviness taught you how to grin. I heard the tears you never let fall aloud, yet you knew how to respond. I am okay. While your heart felt like it was breaking, I could feel the burden in your chest. You believed that sobbing was a sign of weakness. You saw it as a sign that you were losing control. However, those tears were not a sign of weakness. They got their freedom. They served as evidence that your heart remained tender. They served as evidence that you had not become totally numb. And I saw every music tear that dropped in private. Not a single drop vanished unnoticed. I witnessed the anxiety you attempted to combat on your own, erasing unexpected ideas, the terror that encircled your chest and made breathing difficult, the evenings when your thoughts were racing, the continual repetition of worst-case scenarios, the silent fear you attempted to conceal from other people. You felt unstable on the inside, which made you powerful on the exterior. You believed that if you expressed your worry, everything would fall apart. You suppressed it as a result. However, I witnessed it. I saw the small trembling of your hands when no one was around. I could see how the anticipation of disappointment made your gut clench. Music. I noticed how you made an effort to foresee every scenario so you would not be taken by surprise again. I noticed how exhausted you were after that. My child, you have a lot of anxiety. It depletes the spirit. Nevertheless, you continued. You pretended to be strong because you thought that is what others wanted of you. You thought that others relied on you to keep things together. You thought you might lose control if you broke down in public. As a result, you emerged as the reliable, stable, and advisor. The person who carries others while also carrying you is the one who listens. I even carried you when you were unaware of it. I was keeping you upright. I steadied you when your knees started to weaken. I prevented your thoughts from spiraling out of control when they seemed disorganized. I silently kept the pieces together when you thought you were about to fall apart. No one else saw the battles you waged in your head. You struggled with self-doubt. You doubted your value. You listened to talks again and wondered whether you had said anything incorrectly. You were very critical of yourself. You criticized yourself for lacking strength. You were always comparing yourself to others and felt inadequate. You were treating yourself cruelly without realizing it. Music sorcerer. I continue to stain. There were times when you sat silently, experiencing everything while gazing at nothing. You had no idea how to describe your emotions. All you knew was that it was heavy. All you knew was that you were feeling overburdened, and you encouraged yourself to keep going. You told yourself to quit acting so theatrical. Others had it worse, you told yourself. However, minimizing discomfort does not make it go away. You attempted to ignore the weight, but I noticed it. You silently carried your disappointment. You never really dealt with the sadness you held. Even now, at night, your regrets linger. Over time, the pressure you carried increased gradually, and you kept it inside of you. rather than letting it out. I was there for every quiet breakdown, even though you believed you had to handle it on your own. I witnessed the day you nearly lost hope that things would improve. I could see how weary you were of hope. I witnessed your near complete closure of your heart. You reasoned that if you just stopped caring, nobody would notice. However, I would have observed. I am closer to your heart than you realize, so I would have sensed the change. You do not act theatrical when you have strong emotions. Being overwhelmed does not make you weak. Your private struggles do not indicate that you are failing. You are music, human, and I never thought you would be able to handle everything on your own. Say that, even if you are still unable to see the solution, God is already at work for me. And distribute this video.